Okay, this is friction in detail here. So friction is a force that is exerted by a surface or a fluid medium. Fluid medium. So this is just probably some air, sometimes water, because water also has water resistance. That's another thing. So by a surface or by water, by air, because of movement. So why is there friction is because of this picture here. Because the surface, right, is actually rough. So if you rub two rough surface together, then you get friction. Then the other picture is to just show you air resistance. So that down here, this is the reason why there is friction. So the roughness here, right, is the so-called irregular this thing. So because they will come together and then they will resist motion. Because you have all these jagged edges, then it's very difficult to move. So that's why you got friction. So then this one is liquid and gases will cause this air resistance. What friction does is it will oppose motion. Then it will prevent a stationary object from moving or it cause it to slow down. Then it cause wear and tear and then it produce heat. This is whatever you mentioned just now, right? You mentioned this just now, right? During one of the questions. Yeah. So this is what friction can do. These three things. Then this is just for fun, not required. So there are two types of friction. One is static friction, one is dynamic friction. Okay. So you have an object like this is not moving. Is there friction?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then this kind of friction that you see down here on this surface, right, is static friction. Then the other kind where you push the object and then it moves. Is there friction here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is dynamic friction. This is basically what the two lines are saying. So just for fun only, for your general knowledge sake only. So there are some certain factors that affect friction. So the roughness of the surface. So you have surface A, then you have another surface B here. So in between here, if they are very rough, then there is more friction. This is what they're saying. Then the normal force will cause the friction and the speed of the object will also cause friction. Will affect friction. So if something is moving faster, that means you have higher friction. All right. So you need to know some of these things, like when is friction useful. So when it provides a firm grip when you need it. That means when you walk, your shoe soles will have a good grip and grip onto the floor so you don't fall down. So there is this thing called braking system. You know of this? The ones that is in the car. So when your mom drives the car or your dad drives the car and then he needs to slow down, then he steps on the brakes and the brakes goes to a braking system that slows down the moving car. Okay, then it is used to sharpen knives. You know of that? Okay, then the last one is you use it to generate heat. So you rubbing your palms against each other to generate heat, that is something that's useful. Okay, just entertainment down here. So if you have liquid on the floor and your shoes are not good, this will happen. Then this is
rubbing two sticks together to produce fire for a campfire.
Then this is the braking system. Just for fun only. More interesting to see pictures than to see words. So your mom steps on the brakes, then the brakes goes into all this, and that is your braking system. Then eventually your car will slow down. Then sharpening knives. So you have this kind of tool. This is, I think, quite old. They have this piece of stone looking thing. Then you use your knife or your scissors against that surface. The blade will become sharper. Hand rubbing. Okay, so when do you not want friction? Okay, so friction because it generates heat, right? So it will cause your useful energy to become wasted energy. So you lose energy, like those questions where you remember your work done questions, then you have the roller coaster, and then after that you roll, then after that you go up to a certain height. Remember that question? Then they'll ask you why the roller coaster cannot go as high as before. Remember that kind of question? So the typical answer will be heat loss due to friction, right?
Yeah.
That is this question. Heat loss or energy loss. Then it causes wear and tear. wear and tear, you know, your shoes. Then after you wear your shoes for a while, then the sole of the shoe become torn. That is because of friction also. Then you have to know about what methods to use to reduce friction. So there's this thing called ball bearings. So that you can find ball bearings in bicycles, the moving part of bicycle like the wheel area. Then you also can find in skateboards. Then you can use lubricants like oil, grease. Then you put them in between the parts of the engine. Then air cushion, and then you also design the shape of the vehicle to be streamlined. So I think I have some images behind. So ball bearings. So ball bearings are, okay, so this is a skateboard and then this is the wheel lah. Then you see when you take out the wheel, you see the ball bearing here. See, then the ball bearing look like that. If you have you know, fidget spinner, some years back, everyone loves to play with the fidget spinner. In the fidget spinner, there is also ball bearings. So the ball bearing will cause the fidget spinner to move very smoothly without much friction. Then you use lubricant. So you have engine parts, right? They pour the lubricant in between. Then the air cushion. Air cushion is this one. This hovercraft looking thing. And the hovercraft uses air cushion to reduce friction. Then you see the hovercraft can move faster than the car. Okay. Because it uses air cushion, right? There is no contact between the ground and the bottom of the hovercraft. So there's lesser friction, so it can move faster. Whereas you see that buggy there, it's going on the ground, there's friction between the ground and the wheels. So it's slower. Then finally, you design the vehicle to be streamlined. So submarine typically have a certain shape that reduces friction. So aircraft also have.
Aerodynamic.
Yeah, yes. So planes will also have a certain shape because it reduces air resistance. Okay, friction questions. A wooden block of mass 12 kilograms move at a constant speed of 2 meters per second when pulled by a force of 20 newtons. Then you are supposed to find the friction. Why 20?
Because it's a constant speed.
So if they want working, so force of 20, then friction is here, then acceleration is 0. So if you want working, then it's like this, equals to mass acceleration. So this is 0, so this is 20, and then like that if they want working. Okay, if it's a calculation question, then you have to show working, then you show discount working for that. The next one, a block 12 kilo moves at constant speed of this when it's pulled by this. Then the friction just now is 20. So just now you already calculated friction is 20. Then after that, this 68. So you take this resultant force equals to mass times acceleration. So 68 minus 20 is mass times acceleration. So acceleration is 68 minus 20 divided by 12 is 4. Then they say this, what is the speed of the block after 5 seconds? So its speed starts with 2 meters per second. Then it accelerates at 4 meters per second square. Then it goes on for 5 seconds. Then what is the speed here? This is what they're asking. So you draw this to show, or you can use the formula A equals to V minus U over T. Should give you the same answer. So your answer is not complete. 4 equals to V minus 2 over 5. Okay, let's check. 22. So A is 4. Final speed, I don't know. Minus U is 2 over 5 seconds. So you cross multiply, you get 20 equals to V minus 2. So V equals to 22 meter per second. Okay?